There are players that cannot be replaced, and there are an abundance of players that no one gives a shit about. If you're the WNBA, common sense would dictate that you do everything in your power to protect your star players. You do everything you can to protect your assets. But for some reason, this dump of a league seems to protect anonymous faces over the pretty faces. They protect the players who are injuring the players that people are paying to see.
WNBA in panic. Caitlin Clark's injury just sent the WNBA into full-blown panic. Ratings are collapsing, ticket sales are tanking, and fans are walking away in real time.
Well, many of you have probably been waiting on this, as have I. But the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was 4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events. Kathy Engelbert, this should be a perfect example of why you need to get your officiating cleaned up, and you need to have a talk with your players in the league. And nobody's asking you to hold Caitlin Clark's hand. Just play fair and stop with the WWE bullshit.
But how did one player's injury bring an entire league to its knees? The truth is shocking, and it's only getting worse. The numbers don't lie. The WNBA All-Star Game ratings are out, and they're a disaster, down 40% compared to last year.
You see, this is exactly what we were talking about. WNBA All-Star ratings are in for 2025, and it is down 40%. 40% from last year. That's bad. That is really bad. We already watched the ticket prices drop by more than 50% because Caitlin Clark was not playing. This is bad news for the WNBA, and this should be a wake-up call. This should be a straight-up wake-up call. With the ticket prices dropping, and now you see the show, the ratings fell tremendously.
This isn't a dip, it's a nosedive. The league's premier event, the showcase of its biggest stars, pulled in fewer viewers than a regular season Indiana Fever game featuring Caitlin Clark. Think about that. The league's crown jewel couldn't outdraw a single Caitlin Clark average night. That's not just concerning, that's catastrophic. For months, critics said Clark's fans weren't real fans, that they were only watching because of hype. But the numbers prove otherwise. The moment she was sidelined, those fans left. And the WNBA is paying the price.
There was plenty of people I saw online who said, yo, Caitlin Clark not playing. Oh, she's hurt and they don't want to call fouls. Okay, I'm not giving them a view. I'm not going to watch. There was plenty of people that boycotted watching this WNBA All-Star game. It was plenty of people. I watched it. That's how I know how trash it was.
The collapse isn't limited to television. It's hitting arenas across the country. Look at the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky matchup. Before Clark's injury, the cheapest ticket was $86. The day her injury was announced, that same ticket plummeted to $25, a 71% drop overnight.
Last Saturday, the Indiana Felines and the Chicago Bravado played on CBS. How many of you knew that? How many of you guys watched this game? 2 months ago, this matchup would have been the leading story throughout the media. But when you don't have the rivalry, when you don't have the storyline of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, this is just another painfully boring pretend basketball game. Unsurprisingly, the Chicago Bravado got their ass kicked again.
This wasn't a theory, it was cold, hard cash. The so-called Caitlin Clark effect became undeniable. Fans weren't just watching her games, they were paying premium prices to be in the building. Without her, the market evaporated. It gets worse.
This is the reality that the WNBA is looking at if they can't get their heads out of their asses. Or in this case, if they can't get their dildos off the court and back in their pockets. This Caitlin Clark injury It was the final ingredient for the perfect storm. This injury gave the WNBA the data they need to prove that pretend basketball is 100% reliant on one player.
Indiana Fever's local TV viewership has fallen by more than 53% since Clark was sidelined. And the decline isn't isolated to Indiana. The WNBA as a whole is feeling the shockwaves. Fans who once filled arenas and tuned in on TV are disappearing. What was once momentum is now a mass exodus. And here's the kicker. The league itself fueled this crisis. For months, players, media voices, and even league insiders dismissed new fans as fake. They mocked the idea that millions of people were tuning in just for Caitlin Clark. Instead of embracing the new wave, they shut the door. Now those fans are gone, and the league is scrambling to explain why. But this isn't just about one injury. It's about a pattern. Clark's quad strain was only the beginning. Soon after, Angel Reese went down, then Sydney Colson, then Lexi Hull in what looked like a completely avoidable play. Fans are asking, is this just bad luck? Or is it bad officiating? Many believe the refereeing this season has been incompetent at best and dangerous at worst. Missed calls, dirty plays ignored, players left unprotected. Caitlin Clark wasn't just the league's biggest star, she was its greatest investment. Yet she was left exposed, and now the WNBA is dealing with the fallout. And that blame, fans say, falls directly at the feet of Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Her failure to protect stars, enforce consistent officiating, and manage the league's direction has turned a setback into a full-blown crisis. Meanwhile, the league's marketing has completely collapsed. Broadcasters are still running highlight reels of players who aren't even active. Instead of building up secondary stars, they're clinging to ghosts. On social media, the difference is night and day. Just weeks ago, viral clips of Caitlin Clark were everywhere. Now, silence. Engagement is gone. Memes, debates, viral highlights, all vanished. The digital buzz that made the WNBA feel alive has turned into a ghost town. And without cultural relevance, brands won't invest. Without brands, money dries up. And without money, the league's future darkens. Here's where it gets terrifying. The WNBA is now staring at the nightmare scenario, a postseason and a championship that nobody outside hardcore fans even notices. Imagine a trophy being lifted in an empty arena, a moment meant to crown greatness, instead reduced to silence. This is the sports equivalent of a tree falling in an empty forest. Does it even matter if no one is watching? And it doesn't stop there. The league is heading into negotiations for its next media rights deal, a deal that was supposed to bring in $1 billion, a deal fueled by the Caitlin Clark effect. But those dreams just went up in smoke. Networks see the collapse in ratings, they see the empty seats, and they know the league no longer has leverage. What was once a royal flush is now an empty hand. This could cripple the WNBA's growth for the next decade. So where does this leave us? The league gambled that it was bigger than Caitlin Clark. It mocked her fans. It failed to protect its stars. And now it's paying the price. The question is no longer whether the WNBA can survive this season. It's whether fans will ever come back once the trust is broken. Because once that magic is gone, it's almost impossible to rebuild. So what do you think? Did the WNBA gamble too hard on Caitlin Clark's back? Or is this just the wake-up call the league needed? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're still watching, comment Clark injury so I know you're part of this conversation.
So lads, look who's back. Look who's back, lads. Look who's back. Look who is back down the far end of the court. Look who is back jogging through warm-ups. Look who is back at 50% in warm-ups. Good old Caitlin.
Breaking news out of Indiana. Caitlin Clark is finally nearing her long-awaited WNBA comeback. After missing 16 straight games, fans are beginning to see the first real signs of hope.
Well, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. We look like we may actually have some legitimate movement in the direction of Caitlin Clark coming back. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Chloe Peterson, Caitlin Clark is participating in shoot-around this morning, going through warm-ups, then some non-contact drills with the second team. She hasn't officially returned to practice, I'm told, but this is her first time working with the team since her injury.
And with the Indiana Fever's playoff hopes hanging by a thread, this could not come at a more critical time. Tonight, we're breaking down everything you need to know. What happened to Clark, the struggles without her, and why this latest update has Fever fans buzzing about a comeback that could change the entire season.
The breaking news hot off the press. It looked like Caitlin Clark has returned to practice. Now, we know Caitlin Clark has been missing in action for about a month now. Now, she did join the team on this trip here. They kind of released this yesterday on their X account, showing them boarding a plane, and their CC is right there. You know, it's unclear if she's going to play. You know what I'm saying? I do want to say that I don't want to start making theories that she's going to play, but she is there in Minnesota with the team as they get prepared to take on the Minnesota Lynx.
For the past month and a half, the WNBA has been missing its brightest star. Caitlin Clark's season was derailed on July 15th in a game against the Connecticut Sun. With less than 40 seconds left, she dished a perfect bounce pass to Kelsey Mitchell, but then immediately reached for her right groin in pain. She walked gingerly off the court, headbutting the stanchion in frustration. That moment marked her final appearance of the season so far.
Caitlin Clark has scored the last 9 points for Indiana. A patented bounce pass. And Caitlin looks like she's in pain after that pass.
The setback couldn't have come at a worse time. Clark was set to captain the All-Star game in Indianapolis, her city, her crowd. Instead, she had to sit out. She missed the three-point contest too. Since then, the numbers tell the story. The Fever have dropped 6 of their last 8 games. They're clinging to the 8th spot in the standings. Without Clark, the record sits at 11 and 13. With her, they're above 500. That difference is massive. And it's not just about wins and losses. It's about energy, leadership, and belief. Every game she's missed has piled on the pressure, and fans have been left wondering if their season is already slipping away. But now, at last, there's a breakthrough. For the first time in over a month, Caitlin Clark is back on the court with her teammates. On August 24th, she joined the Fever for shoot-around and non-contact drills. She even warmed up with the second unit before the game against Minnesota. This may not sound like much, but for Fever fans, it's everything.
We got our best indication yet that Caitlin Clark is on her way back toward a return for the Indiana Fever. That's because she was seen participating in shoot-around before the Minnesota Lynx game. Now, that doesn't mean she's playing. She's still out for that game, and she hasn't returned to full practice yet, but she is back on the court with her teammates. This coming on the heels of Stephanie White saying she hopes that Clark would return to the lineup before the regular season is out, and that when you see her participating in practice, you will know she's on the way back, while participating in shoot-around is a precursor to returning in practice.
It's the first time she's been able to move and compete alongside teammates since July 15th. The road here hasn't been easy. She battled through a left quad injury earlier in the season.
Caitlin Clark will miss at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. Wednesday's game at the Mystics will be the first game she's ever missed, college or pro here.
A groin strain in June forced her to miss more time.
New this morning, ESPN is reporting that Caitlin Clark has injured her groin for the second time this season. Clark left last night's game in the final minute, holding back tears after grabbing at her leg. She just returned back to WNBA action after missing 9 games for 2 other leg injuries. Despite the apparent injury, Clark racked up 14 points and made 4 of 14 shots.
And then, in early August, she even tweaked her ankle during an individual workout in Phoenix. Clark herself admitted the frustration on Sue Bird's podcast. She said, "It's not like I have a training camp to build up to play in my first game again. It's like, no, you're tossed into game 30. Like, go try to play well. It's hard, it really is."
I know you want to be out there.
Definitely been hard.
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm going to go to every road game no matter what, like whether I'm playing or not. Like, and it's hard because obviously I do feel this like responsibility of like being out there and playing, and like, not that I like think there's like a fear of any of this ever going away. Like, that doesn't happen when like LeBron or Steph get hurt. Like, they're always going to be there. Like,
You'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
Fans can feel that honesty. They know she's been grinding through pain, and now, finally, the work is starting to pay off. The excitement spread quickly across social media. Fever Nation lit up with hope. Clips of Clark moving at full speed in drills were shared everywhere.
Clark comes back. Yep, I definitely think Caitlin Clark comes back this season. It's many reasons why I think she come back, but me personally, I feel like she comes back because of all the stuff that has been happening with the team, with the drama with the front office. To me, it's almost like they bring her back to save face. You know, they bring her back to save face.
Teammates and coaches spoke about how good it felt just to see her out there again. This isn't just about a player doing light drills. This is about momentum shifting. It's about belief returning to a franchise that desperately needs its leader back. So what comes next? There's still no official timetable for Clark's return. The Fever are cautious. They know the risks of rushing her back too soon, but everything we've seen recently shows she's closer than ever. She's already running the full court with body weight. She's already shooting, cutting, and participating in team activities. The next step will be full contact practice. And once that happens, her comeback will be imminent. For the Fever, her return could be the lifeline that saves their season. When healthy, Clark isn't just good, she's transformative. In 13 games this season, she's averaging 16.5 points, nearly 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. That assist average? Second highest in the entire league. Only Alyssa Thomas has more. Her ability to control pace, create shots, and elevate teammates completely changes Indiana's identity. With her, they don't just compete, they believe they can win. And make no mistake, the Fever need her now more than ever. The playoffs are on the line, and a late season surge could mean everything. Imagine the scene. Clark returning to the floor, shaking off the rust, and carrying the Fever back into playoff contention. That isn't just a comeback story, that's a potential turning point for the entire WNBA season. So here we are, after weeks of silence, after setback, Caitlin Clark is finally nearing her WNBA comeback. The Fever season is still hanging in the balance. The fans are waiting, the league is waiting, and the basketball world is holding its breath. The only question left is this: how soon before the WNBA's brightest star steps back onto the court? If you're still watching, drop Clark comeback in the comments. Let's see how many of you are ready for her return.